Amongst interesting but also weird news, could Deion Sanders primetime be out at Colorado? Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides. Got a little treat for you. We're going to branch outside of the typical Alabama talk. You know, sometimes there's just too much going on in the world of college football to just talk about Alabama, and we're going to do that today on this video. Thanks for joining in. Thank you for being here. Thanks for clicking. If you click, go ahead and do me a favor. Click a couple more times. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Leave a comment. Leave a like on the video. Helps us continue to bring more content to you. And that's what we're here for, is bringing you as much content as possible. I will say I have been under the weather, feeling a little better, but I might let a little sneeze or cough off here somewhere in the next few minutes as we explore this new topic together. So bear with me. You know, those summer head colds, man. Shoo, they're rough. Sunday afternoon, July, I'm going to say June. It's almost August. July 27th. As I'm recording this, and news has broken today that famed head coach, we'll say famed, Deion Sanders, primetime, will be holding a presser tomorrow morning with his medical team over there in Colorado. This is a little weird, maybe not unprecedented, but it is weird. However, it's led to a lot of people wondering, could this mean that Deion is on his way out at Colorado? And it would make sense. It's a fair question. Deion Sanders was heavily involved in his sons, both of them, their careers there at Colorado now that they have both moved on, especially Shador, who is now up there in Cleveland. Travis Hunter might as well have been his son as well. Deion was that relationship he had with Travis Hunter is really, really good down here in Jacksonville. Now, you kind of wonder, like, what is left for him to do there in terms of recruiting. Colorado's not lighting it up. It's just kind of I think the newness has worn off. Let's see. I'm trying to see where they are in terms of recruiting right now. Yeah. Yeah, hold on. I'm still scrolling. They're way down there. Okay. And some of this has been because, they're at 69th in recruiting right now. They've got 9 total commits, 3 4-stars, 6 3-stars. Some of this is due to the fact that Deion has not been super involved with the program throughout the spring and the summer. This isn't because he doesn't want to be super involved. Obviously, those of you who are fans of Deion Sanders, as many of us are, we understand that the guy has some pretty significant health issues. The biggest one that we know is in his battle with blood clots. He's had a couple of toes amputated, things like that. He's been sidelined a couple of times last season where he wasn't down. I shouldn't say sidelined, where he wasn't down with the team on the sideline. But these mysterious health issues are some things that he's alluded to and talked about on social media and in interviews that he hasn't really completely opened up about. They've really, according to USA Today, have really limited his offseason participation with football, as well as his sons, who are now playing in the NFL. This has brought on a ton of questions, a ton of concerns for Colorado fans. It's, there's been this thought process that Deion would follow his sons once they left Colorado. Amongst some people, that wouldn't be surprising to me under any circumstance. However, if you're a Colorado football fan, it's got to be deeply concerning to look at your recruiting class. And then you kind of look back at the boards, the typical teams that you want to be competitive with, you want to be held in their standard: Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas. They're still doing what they always do, in terms of recruiting, and having the better chances to make playoffs, things like that. And Colorado has definitely gotten a lot better with Sanders at the helm. They have not gotten worse, but they still haven't reached the peak that their fans want them to be at. It's going to be hard for them to do that this year with Sanders. They did bring in Juju Lewis, 4-star quarterback. Some agencies have him as a 5-star. He is likely to be the starter there. They were able to bring in some talent up there. However, it's just in the big national scheme of things, it's hard to imagine Colorado competing for national titles when the big dogs still do what the big dogs do, and that's so. Especially with Sanders kind of taking a step back, I've always said that I felt like Sanders was a great promoter, not a solid X's and O's coach. I think that what he's brought in terms of national attention to Colorado has been good, and it's boosted some of their recruiting. But I don't think in long term it's going to correlate with any actual success as we would measure it down here in the Southeastern Conference on a national level. I just don't think so. However, if you're a Colorado fan, he's only going into his third year. So, I mean, do you really want another coaching crossover or another coaching changeover right now? Now, this isn't to say that that's what is going to be announced tomorrow. That is speculation by some people that Deion Sanders could be announcing that he's gone. However, there has been some information released, and it's just right now what's being told is that the press conference will address team and general updates. Obviously, yeah, that's something that's going to be talked about, but he's going to have his medical team present with him for the presser. That's the weird part about this. USA Today also reports, like we said, that Sanders has been less involved in team activities this offseason due to undisclosed health concerns. So it's just interesting. I don't know. It's very interesting. He was at Big 12 Media Days. He looked to be in really good health there. He was smiling his normal self. So, and maybe this is just an opportunity for him to address rumors that are running rampant all over social media about his ability to coach and carry on. Now, I will say at Media Days, he was asked about his health and he declined to talk about it. He declined. He insisted on only talking about the team, said that's the purpose of Media Days. That's why he was there. He declined to really expand upon his health concerns or his health issues. Now, this conversation will take place tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, July 28th. Something to, if you're into that kind of stuff, to keep an eye on. Obviously, with any coaching change, if that's potentially what happens here, you have portal concerns. There are vultures circling, waiting to jump in and grab guys. Juju Lewis was a big get for Colorado. I think they beat out Auburn. They beat out USC for him. And so you have to think that those schools will come a knocking if Sanders is able to or is not able to continue his coaching career at Colorado. I know a lot of people are praying for him. They're concerned that this could be something like serious. This could be a legitimate issue. And Sanders has hinted at it. Hey, he said, I think it was an interview, I can't remember, but he talked about that there's players on campus right now he hasn't even met yet because his health concerns have kept him away from the facility. And so you have to think that whatever it is, it's something significant. And so our prayers, of course, are with Deion, whatever it is, whatever he's got going on. I think that despite his ability as an X's and O's coach, Deion is one of those central figures who is really good for college football. He is, like I said, he's more of a promoter than a head coach. He's electric. He brings a lot of attention. He demands a lot of attention. It's not always positive attention, but it's attention, right? And so I think that him having to potentially step away from coaching it stinks, just because it's been a fun thing to watch. He's ultimately not responsible for Travis Hunter, but watching a guy like Travis Hunter last season, that was a treat that, a lot of us we just, you don't get to see that kind of athlete on every team any given Saturday. Travis Hunter was definitely special. And so Deion's given a lot of himself to Colorado, to the sport. And so it's been pretty awesome. Let's see. So the Athletics' Chris Vanini shared on X that Colorado says Deion will hold his first fall camp press conference on Monday, and the event will include his medical team. So yeah, that's also an important distinction, that this will be a camp presser. This isn't just necessarily him coming out saying, I'm having an emergency meeting, but he will have his medical team on staff to help provide updates, because they're anticipating a lot of questions about his health. I do hope that Sanders is doing okay. It's kind of amazing when you watch his series, Primetime, and you see it kind of goes into the background of some of the stuff that he's had going on, especially with his blood clots, his amputations, things like that. It's pretty amazing to see that he's still doing what he's doing, still gets around the way he gets around and things like that. And so, he's 57. He's still relatively young for a head coach. I don't know. It's just I don't want to wish anything ill on the guy. And like I said, I think he's just good for college football. He did talk. I think it was back in July, and it might have been at Big 12 Media Days. I think they held theirs a little earlier, if I remember correctly. But he did kind of talk about. He did kind of allude that there were some health problems that he still hasn't recovered from all the way. Yeah, here it is. I see it right here. He told ESPN on July 9th at Big 12 Media Days, "I'm here today. I'm handling my responsibility, so I look forward to it. I can't wait. You got to understand, some of the young players I haven't even met yet. I'm so excited about that. I'm still going through something. I ain't all the way recovered." That's verbatim via Yahoo Sports, Deion Sanders. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what this could possibly be, what it is. Like I said, it's a little weird that a fall camp presser is not weird at all, but having your medical staff there, having your medical team there is a little awkward. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. So please leave a comment. We'll let you know. We'll stick around. We'll have a reaction posted as soon as we hear what's going on with old Deion. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy, just a general update on his health. Thanks for sticking around. You guys are the best. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.